Our world undergoes constant change in an endless evolution. An evolution made out of theory and practice, two essential mechanisms complementing each other, the engines of knowledge. That's how Bocconi was born, from a two-sided story, from thought and action. Two poles, one single movement, a movement that pushes us forward. Visionary thoughts coming to life. Ideals turning into ideas. Where others see complexity, we see motivation. To always think big, to create something even bigger. Because it's in our DNA to shape leaders who make a difference on business, society, and people. Not only tomorrow's thinkers, but also today's game changers. Bocconi, knowledge that matters.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this virtual edition of the Open Day of our graduate school. Thanks for attending this event. You are thousands from all over the world, so thank you so much for your time. My name is Paolo Cancelli. At Bocconi, I'm in charge of the students unit, which takes care, among other things, of guidance, recruitment, admissions, tuition fees, and so on and so forth. So for sure, with some of you, we have already met virtually in one of our events in the last months. For the newcomers, I hope this is the first of many contacts over the months and years to come. Welcome again to the Open Day. Very briefly, we will get into the core activities. So we will have our rector, Professor Gianmario Verona, introducing Bocconi's today and giving some historical data. We will then have Professor Antonella Caru, the Dean of the Graduate School, go a little bit deeper into the details of the Graduate School academic offer. Before leaving the floor to our rector, just a few useful information for today's activities. Make sure that you disconnect today with all the answers to your questions. To do so, make sure that you do attend all the Master of Science presentations that will take place as soon as this plenary session will end. Besides, take into consideration that we have desks and services today answering all of your questions. So we have the admissions desk, tuition fees, housing center, international opportunities, career services, a dedicated desk to get information on the specialized masters, and so on and so forth. So make sure that you attend all these activities. Then, of course, you have the chance to interact with the professors at the end of the single presentation of the Master of Science programs. You will have the chance to hear from the alumni at the end of the presentations, to interact with current students. There are dedicated student lounges, okay, divided according to the specific Master of Science program. So plenty of opportunities. Also, as you are basically following this event coming from different backgrounds, we have Bocconi undergraduate students, students from other Italian universities, and students from the international market. Make sure you do access and you do view the video presentations of the specific track of admissions, requirements, deadlines, and so on and so forth for the given audience. Once again, I hope this is the first of many events that you will attend and you will hear from us. It's not the end of it. From tomorrow onwards, we are available with our offices and services to get back to you in case there is any questions that did not find an answer today. Once again, welcome, thank you, but let's get into the core activities, and I'm honored to welcome to stage our rector, Professor Gianmario Verona. Professor.
Hello, everyone. It is a distinct pleasure for me today to share with you some of the opportunities that Bocconi University is offering thanks to its product portfolio. And I really look forward to having the chance also to meeting you one day on our beautiful campus in Milan, Italy. Let me get started by sharing with you some core facts of our university. As you know, Bocconi is a leading European university which is focused on the broad field of social sciences. We like to say that at Bocconi we do 5 things. We do them pretty well because we have been doing them for more than 100 years. And these 5 things are economics, business administration, computer science, political science, and legal studies. These 5 things, we like to call them social sciences, like it happens in the world of research, because they are interconnected, they are interdisciplinary, and they speak to the broad world that characterizes globalization, society. I think that the pandemic that unfortunately is hitting us in these days is showing how these things and this topic are strongly interrelated. Coming to Bocconi means, of course, choosing a specific Master of Science, but our characteristic is also to have a flavor of the integration of these 5 broad subjects, which are all crucial in understanding how the world is going on in these days. As I was saying, Bocconi was created now more than 100 years ago. Actually, in this year, we're gonna, with the academic year 21-22, we're gonna celebrate the 120th anniversary of our birth. We are focused because we are social sciences, but we are broad in terms of number of students. We have about 15,000 students. And interestingly enough, Bocconi University, since 1971, and another celebration this year, because our SDA Bocconi School of Management will celebrate the 50th anniversary, we have decided also to train people that was already into job and into work. And so every year we actually train more than 9,000 executives in courses that are delivered on campus or within corporations. Sometimes this activity requires also activity with policymakers, which is something that also we like a lot. We like to say that Bocconi is founded on 4 fundamental pillars. First of all, innovation. We have been innovating a lot since our birth. Actually, we started as an economics institution, and then we have grown to cover these 5 subjects. And in general, with our strong pressure towards internationalization, we have tried to do our best to include and to reinforce all the activities that characterize a modern university. The second thing is, like, we like to say that we want to have impact. The big screen behind me is our payoff, knowledge that matters. We like to research and teach knowledge that impacts, knowledge that is fundamental for society, for corporations, for policymakers, for people that want to impact in the world. As I said, international outlook, because Bocconi has always been international. We are lucky enough to be in one of the capitals of Europe, Milan, which is an incredible city. You know, it's pretty much famous all over the world for its fashion and design flavor, but Milan is, of course, the financial and industrial hub of Italy, and more generally, it has become an incredible hub in terms of innovation. Last pillar is something which is extremely important today. We like to express how we are rooted into meritocracy, in social responsibility, in diversity, and in fact, the number of nationalities present in our campus, the number of ethnicity, the number of religious also thoughts in our university is huge, and this demonstrates how we are overall an incredible community, integrated and substantially close in terms also of openness. We like also to remark that Bocconi University has a long history, which was, in a sense, also seeded into something which we believe is extremely important. Our founder was an entrepreneur. Mr. Ferdinando Bocconi was a retail entrepreneur back in the 19th century. And the reason why he decided to create Bocconi University was to really give back to the society and to provide our country at the beginning, and then, of course, all citizens in the world with the opportunity to be trained into something which at the time was not used to be trained in universities. At the time, we used to have medical doctors, engineers, we used to have, of course, lawyers, but we did not have yet, experts in administration, experts in economics, experts in commerce. These were the years, if you wish, that all over the world, actually, the first business schools were created. And Bocconi also, in 1902, was founded with the idea of disseminating the importance of entrepreneurship, the importance of the activities behind administration and policy making. Currently, we are organized into 5 schools. 2 schools are relatively important for all of you because they represent the bachelor activity that we do interdisciplinary with the 5 fields that I mentioned. But there is also something which is extremely important to you. First of all, the graduate school, which is the school which contains all the Master of Science programs. We have also PhD schools for those of you that at some point in time after the master may be interested in also pursuing an activity of research and therefore a career in research and in teaching. And then, as I mentioned, we also have SDA Bocconi School of Management, which is about teaching to graduate people that already work in corporations. Bocconi is doing pretty well, as you all know, in terms of international visibility. These are numbers that refer to 2 of the most important international rankings, QS and US News. This goes the same also with other rankings like Financial Times and Bloomberg Businessweek. In general, Bocconi is top 5 in Europe and overall top 20 in the world in the field of social sciences. And this is the demonstration that we are doing pretty well. Why is that so? Because we believe that we have 2 fundamental things that are crucial for you to undertake your Master of Science experience. The first one is related to our faculty. So the body of professors at Bocconi universities is characterized by not only a strong ability of teaching, but also a strong ability of doing research, which is something very important for you because you want to select in your choice of Master of Science program a university in which you can really be at the forefront of the learning experience. You be at the edge of the knowledge understanding of the different phenomena and the different characteristics of the disciplines. And as a matter of fact, our body of professors is divided into parts. We have researchers and we have lecturers and adjunct professors that are extremely good in terms of applied teaching. So basically, we provide, like we like to say, the best of both worlds. With researchers, we let you close to the frontier of science and open up your creativity, open up your mind, open up the opportunities behind the understanding of the world. At the same time, we have a group of professors which are extremely good in also undertaking, an impact related to what's going on in the different disciplines and the different activities in these days. But there is also a second important thing that characterizes Bocconi University, we believe, which is the broad opportunities in terms of services that we provide, which relate, first of all, to our openness. As you can see from here, we are becoming an incredible, international campus, and we have nationalities from all over the world, and this is something which is extremely important. And specifically in in classes that provide international curricula, the percentage of nationalities and students is even higher than the one that is shown in this chart. We have a selection rate which is becoming pretty high, and so being at Bocconi means also being able to overcome an important admission process, which basically is focused on selecting those of you who have talent, but also have the energy and the ambition to do better. In general, we are pretty much strong in providing a series of opportunities in terms of scholarship. And in this chart, you can see, first of all, the number of students which we support. Overall, it's about 1 to 4. And we dedicate every year more and more resources to really provide also some kind of waiving related to the different fees of the different programs. So of course, as Paolo Cancelli before mentioned, try to stay connected and stay tuned, and try also to ask the right question if you are interested in these opportunities. Again, in terms of service, we are part of an incredible network of more than 280 partner universities. All leading universities in the world partner with Bocconi University. And this is pretty good because this creates the opportunity, as you know, for a number of double degrees, for a number of exchange programs. And so this means that being at Bocconi means also being able to outreach other, of course, academic experiences which will enrich your university years in Milan and also in somewhere else. Our employment rate is pretty impressive, and of course is not domestic because like most of the top institutions in the world, we place students in the global village, and therefore this is something which is extremely important because now most of the corporation and most of the institutions which see globally the world, they are trying to provide also tracks in terms of hiring which are pretty much international in the different steps that characterize their process. And so this is something also which represents an important opportunity for all of you. And speaking about service, also we like to say that we are part of an impressive network because the history of Bocconi, and so the quality also of students that graduated gave us the opportunity to build up a network of more than 120,000 alumni that are scattered in almost 90 chapters all over the world, from New Zealand to the United States. In this chart, you see the president of our alumni community, who is Silvia Candiani, an alumna of Bocconi University that currently is the chief executive officer of Microsoft Italy. And also every year our community awards an alumnus that has provided distinguished service on his lifetime. This year we've had the opportunity of awarding the chair of the ECB Supervisory Board, Mr. Andrea Enria. We like to say that, we are living peculiar times because of COVID-19, and we have not seen these as simply a shock that was going to abruptly change the things that we do, but we're trying to see this unfortunately tragedy that is impacting all the countries as an opportunity also to innovate and change. And this year has been pretty much impressive in terms of development of a series of services and a series also of teaching experiences, which again, we were thinking to produce even before the pandemic, but we were forced in a sense to introduce from one day to the other. And so starting from February 24, 2020, we have been starting to envision in different ways to teach and different ways also to provide teaching. And I must say that if you speak to our students, current students, the overall experience is pretty is pretty good, not only, but this is providing us with what we like to say, what's going to happen in the new normal. Once the pandemic will be finished, we will use most of these activities in order to enrich further the experience of our students. And that's also the way we have conceived in this academic year our digital education programs, with courses that are characterized by different way of interacting, not simply, of course, in presence, but also through digital tools in different ways. And this is something that we believe is something particularly important for the future. And as this event, which historically used to take place physically, is also showing, we are, moving all our activities and events that support service activities for students online. And this digital experience, which we are providing in our career service, in all the events that characterize our schools and our departments, is something which is providing more and more energy, and I believe also, again, innovations that we will not forget once this pandemic is over. Let me also remark that our campus is something extremely nice, which you have seen probably from pictures, and I hope that some of you have had the chance to visit it before the pandemic. But this is in downtown Milan, and we have done our best to invest in order to increase the safety measure in it. And even when we do in-presence teaching, of course, we have all the tools which, of course, minimize the kind of risk, respect the regulations, of course, but also minimize any kind of risk within the campus, from thermal scanners at the entry of all the buildings to also distancing and journeys, which provides the path within our campus. And speaking about it, the beauty of being at Bocconi is not only to receive high quality teaching that is at the frontier, not only is to meet wonderful students and professors and staff members that come from all over the world, but also the chance to speak to some of the leaders that characterize the global village in these days. We just had the inauguration of the academic year with President von der Leyen. Every year and I would say even every semester, we have a super top gun of the world of business, of the world of policy that join us, and every single week we have important events that characterize our campus. These are just some of the speakers of the last couple of years, and I like also to say that behind the speakers we have associations that also make the life of our campus super vibrant. We are, of course, particularly keen to all the measures related to sustainability. We mentioned that sustainability is one of the core pillars that characterize Bocconi universities, and the fortune of having a big portion of the campus, which is brand new, is also the opportunity to have embraced all the most fundamental measures that characterize the environmental responsibility in these days. We are opening in 2 months our beautiful sports center, and so for those of you who will be part of our community starting from September, or of course in the years to come, they will also have the opportunity to also exploit the services of this fantastic sports center, which includes 2 swimming pools, a basketball, volleyball, and a soccer court, and a beautiful gym. Let me conclude by remarking that we are living the 4th industrial revolution, and these are the years of entrepreneurship. There is a lot of revamp in developing new businesses and new startups. At Bocconi University, we believe that becoming an entrepreneur, like our founder, is something extremely important. As someone said, it's much better to create new jobs more than occupying jobs in the marketplace. And so I would like to remark that we do our best also to support our students that are interested in entrepreneurship, not only by providing specific courses in tracks in our Master of Science programs, but also with our Bocconi for Innovation, which is a super accelerator, which invests in startups developed by our students and our alumni. So stay tuned also for that. One of the reasons of being at Bocconi is also to be in this beautiful city with this vibrant environment, and also trying to impact the world also with some entrepreneurs. So I really think that, all these things make, Bocconi a solid choice for your future. And again, if you're interested in the world of social sciences, you should for sure take into account Bocconi University. And I really hope that with all the information you will collect today, you will also, find, something which will enlighten you and will bring you to choose us, and possibly one day we'll meet also in presence. So good luck to all of you, and enjoy this experience to get the best of this open day.